Welcome to the Justinian Justin with your host, Justinian Cross.
Hello, everybody in the audience, and to everybody sitting at home. I hope that everyone is having a great night tonight. You know, today brings a lot of drivers a lot of challenges on the roadway. Adverse conditions such as reduced visibility, reduced traction, and weather conditions, along with different emergencies such as vehicle malfunctions, errors from drivers, roadway hazards, and collisions. So today, I want to introduce someone with experience with these difficulties. Say hello to condition and damage prevention expert Daniel Lamelli. How are you doing, Daniel?
Doing fine, thank you.
Great. So what I want to talk about today are the dangers of driving and how to prevent them from happening.
Okay, so what in particular?
Well, how about we look at avoiding accidents in different weather conditions?
Okay, so in fog, you always have to have your low beam lights on to make sure that the reflection of the water droplets doesn't cause you to lose vision. And you have to make it more difficult to see, and also pay attention to your speed, and make sure you have a good enough space cushion between you and other approaching vehicles to make sure you don't get into a collision fast.
That's very insightful. What about some other varying weather conditions like rain or snow?
So in rain, you always have to make sure that your wipers are on to make sure that your front view is completely cleared off of any rain or water droplets or something. And then you always have to keep your low beams on again, because like on fog, having your beams too high will make it so that the droplets reflect off of the light too much and you go blind. What you also need to do is that you need to move a little slower than usual, and also make sure that you are always prepared to pull over. As for snow, make sure your windows and your headlights and your mirrors are clear of slush and snow, and the other similar rules apply to if it were for rain or fog.
Do you have any advice for extreme hot or extreme cold temperatures?
Yes, in hot weather conditions, always make sure that you never ever remove your radiator cap, because the liquid can scald and burn you and possibly make you die. Furthermore, you should always instead of parking in a safe place to allow your engine to cool down, and if needed, if that doesn't work, you also have to get your coolant engine repaired. In cold weather, be alert for exhaust leaks, as carbon monoxide can be released from that and possibly make you sick or kill you.
Now that is all fine and dandy. We're going to come back right after a break to talk about handling emergencies.
This episode was brought to you by
Number 15.
Welcome back, everybody. So Daniel, could you tell me about how we can avoid different vehicle malfunctions?
Well, I'm glad you asked. For tire failure, avoid hitting objects and make sure that you maintain your proper tire pressure. With that, your chances of getting a tire blowout are absolutely minimized. Make sure you have a replacement tire just in case if it does happen anyway. Here's an important one as well. Total brake failure. When this happens, make sure that you do the following to avoid any sort of major collision. Pump the foot brake pedal, downshift to a lower gear, and apply the parking brake. And search for a safe place to stop your vehicle. With this, you will have a minimal chance of getting into a collision. As for engine failure, shift into neutral when either the engine sputters or brakes suddenly, and go to the nearest shoulder. Try restarting your vehicle. If it does not happen, then stay within the shoulder of the curb.
That's all pretty interesting. I'm sure everybody at home is taking notes. For the rest of our time here, can we talk about handling steering failure, emergency swerving, obstacles, collisions, and fires?
Alrighty then. So first off, for total steering failure, turn your emergency lights on, take your foot off the accelerator, and let it skid, and only brake when you can't avoid the crash. Otherwise, keep it in drift. You should always swerve to avoid crashes when moving at speeds greater than 40 miles an hour, and with only very limited reaction time is given to avoid the hazard, such as potholes or an object, pedestrian or animal. To handle collisions in general, always try to find the quickest way to lessen the impact, the force of you and the collision. Always try to swerve out of the way if you cannot brake in time to avoid the collision. Go to soft objects off of the road, like bushes, fields, like very, very cushiony objects. avoid hitting solid objects such as trees or rocks, because that can cause an even bigger collision. It could result in death. Finally, to avoid a vehicle fire, to avoid injuring a vehicle fire, always turn off quickly steer off to an open, safe area. Get your passengers at least 100 feet away from the burning vehicle, and do not try to put it out yourself. Always refer to the proper authorities, such as firefighters, to put out the fire for themselves.
Well, thank you for coming on tonight and talking to us about all the lessons about the roadway and the damages that it can bring. Thank you to our audience for tuning in to us, and as always, good night, America.